This is the plaintiff, Lisa. She says she hired the defendant to build her 5 pieces of custom furniture, and everything was to be built from walnut wood. All he could deliver on time was the TV stand. And when she said that was unacceptable, he didn't seem to care. She now wants her money returned. The defendant refuses, and she's here suing him for the return of her hard-earned $2,787.50. This is the defendant, Frank Crescente. He says he spent over $2,000 on materials for this wishy-washy woman's furniture. He was willing to complete the job for her, and he's not returning a dime of her money, because now he's stuck with a bunch of walnut. He's accused of driving a customer nuts.
All parties, please raise your right hand. The People's Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Marilyn Milian is now presiding. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Doug.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Ms. Lisa, you contracted Mr. Crescente and Wood Visions, his firm, back in October of 2019 to create some furniture for you. What was the furniture he was going to build?
Correct. So we were looking to build a living room set, and we wanted all custom pieces made out of walnut. And so we contacted Mr. Crescente because he seemed like a legitimate contractor, and he seemed to have good reviews on his website. And we like to give our business locally. And so we needed 5 pieces for our living room: 2 bookcases, a TV stand, and a coffee table and a record table.
What's a record table?
So my husband is really into the 50s, and we have a record player.
So it was a piece that was going to go, that you could put the record player into?
Put it on top of, and then also storage underneath for the records.
Okay, so 2 bookcases, a TV stand, a coffee table, and a record table. Okay.
Correct.
And how much were you going to pay total for all these matching pieces?
$5,575.
Okay. So is there actually a written contract between you guys in October?
Yes, there is a written contract between us in October.
Okay. So here is the letter that serves as a contract. It's got your signature on it. It's got his signature on it. And it says, in fact, what you're saying, which is 2 bookcases, a TV stand, the dimensions of everything, you out of walnut to the specifications listed. Had you given him pictures or anything? I'm curious. Like,
I did.
Give him guidance or what?
We saw furniture online that we liked, but it just wasn't big enough for our living room. And we wanted to go with a modern mid-century vibe. And so we contacted Frank because we wanted him to kind of do a copycat, but just make it bigger for us so that it fit in the space that we have.
Okay, did you submit the pictures so I can see what we were talking about, or not really?
I did submit the pictures.
Give me 1 second, please. That's really pretty. So you wanted something like this. You wanted it in walnut, but you wanted it to your specifications and bigger. And I guess Hayneedle didn't have it. That's
right.
A coffee table. There's a TV stand. Gotcha. In this letter, does it say how long he has to build it? All work is to be done in a timely manner. Right.
In a timely manner, correct. And what we had verbally discussed, unfortunately, I did not demand for it to be written in the contract, but we had
should always demand for that to be written in the contract.
Lesson learned.
Yep.
We had verbally discussed by Christmas time.
Okay. Well, what happens by Christmas time?
So actually, Frank left me a voicemail that you also have access to, that it was November 19th, that he told me he was running a little bit behind, and that he was going to be in his shop full time, and that he would have it done by the beginning of January, which I thought was reasonable.
And then what happens in the beginning of January?
In the beginning of January, he made more excuses. The furniture still was not completed. And by the end of January, I found that he was not returning my voicemails and not returning my emails.
So when did you decide that you wanted your money back? What did you say as a result of him not answering you, according to you?
So by late February, I started to get very suspicious. And I emailed him and I said, please, Frank, send me some pictures, send me an update, anything having to do with my furniture, because
you had already paid half of the deposit. He had,
Correct.
At that point, $2,787.50 of your money, correct?
Correct. And I
Okay,
had
so
an
go
empty
on.
living room, so it was difficult to live.
Right.
So he had told me that he had had a family emergency and that he was out of his shop for 2 weeks. And I said, that's very understandable. Like people have family emergencies. And so when he returned from his family emergency, he assured me that he was working full-time in his shop and that he would deliver each piece by piece, and that the TV stand would be to me in March. And so February came and went, March came and went, and he again was not responding to me, and I did not have any furniture. I had requested pictures of the furniture. I had requested to come out to his shop to see his progress, and I just wasn't getting any responses from him. So finally, on April 5th, he emailed me. I think it was April 5th. Let me just double check. Yeah, it was April 5th. So on April 5th, he sent me the email saying that he was not going to complete all of the pieces of furniture, and that I should take the one piece, the TV stand, for the 50% deposit that I had already.
What? Hold on a second. Lisa, sorry I missed your call. As for your furniture, I will have the TV stand done hopefully this coming week. However, I'm not going to be able to build any of the other pieces for the cost I've given you. The work is very tedious. I will complete the TV stand for the money you've already paid. No kidding. Sorry to change things midstream, but truthfully, each piece should be $4,000 each to make. I will be in touch later this week. To which you respond, unfortunately, Frank, that is outside what we agreed upon in our contract, and I would like to request a full refund of my deposit. I am unable to use a TV stand without the other pieces we discussed and agreed upon in our contract. I think it is unfair for you to offer to give me one piece of furniture for $2,787.50 after we gave you a deposit that was based on making 5 pieces of furniture. Please send me a check, you're much more polite than I would be, for $2,787.50 since you are unable to uphold your part of my contract. And then several emails after you, Mr. Crescente. Inquiring minds want to know. Talk to me. Tell me your side of this story.
Well, yes, I was contracted to build the 5 pieces of furniture after working on them for a number of months. The work, the curves, as you saw at the bottom, was a very tedious process that, unfortunately, I don't know things until I start building them. They're one-offs to me. So, the thing was taking a long time to build, and I just...
What was so complicated about it? I looked at it. What was so complicated? What was taking so long to build? But tell me, what was so complicated about it? I'm going to look up the photos. Let's look at the photos, and let's see what's so complicated about that. Because if you're a carpenter, tell me what's complicated about that.
Okay, so if you see the curves on the top of the pieces and the bottom of the pieces, it looks simplistic to your eye, but it's very complicated to me.
Oh, no, I see what you're saying, the curve. Okay, but the curve wasn't a surprise, right? You gave a quote.
No, it wasn't a surprise.
You're an expert. Yeah. You've been doing this. How long have you been a carpenter?
15 years. I'm an artisan, yes.
15 years. An artisan. So how is it you don't know how much trouble it's going to be? And how is it you don't quote that correctly? And if you don't quote that correctly, how is that a Ms. Lisa problem as opposed to a Wood Visions problem?
Welcome back to the People's Court. I'm Harvey Levin. The plaintiff says she waited and waited and waited for her walnut furniture. The defendant has still not completed it, and she is super frustrated and wants a refund. Let's go back into the courtroom.
The thing is, I was willing to complete the project. She said, take your time, was the exact word she used in the beginning.
And you did, didn't you? You took your time, because she gave you half the deposit in October, and we are now in April. When you end up saying to her, I'll tell you what, this took too long, I've changed my mind. I'm going to charge you $2,700 and something for a coffee table without any matching furniture.
Right.
That's you saying that. On what planet do you think there's a judge that's going to say, sure, buddy, change the whole deal, give her a coffee table for $3,000 with no matching furniture?
I didn't say I wasn't going to make the matching furniture. I never ever said that one time.
Yes.
Oh, let us see. Hold on just a moment. Oh, yes, you did. Oh, yes, you did. Oh, yes, you did. First of all, if she was tired of waiting after 6 months, let me tell you that I would find that 6 months isn't timely. Okay? Especially when you left her the following audio in November. Let's hear it.
Hey, Lisa. Good morning. It's Frank over at Wood Visions. I got your message yesterday. I got all the walnut beautiful sitting in the shop. I'm just wrapping up some closets and then I'm going to start working on your stuff probably the end of next week. So I would say we're still a few weeks out from you getting it done, but it's going to be beautiful. I can't wait. So I just wanted to call you back and let you know an update, and I'll give you a call back probably next week, let you know where I'm at with it. Okay? Have a good day. Thanks.
Okay, so you tell me what has changed for a 15-year carpenter with that kind of experience that you would tell her in November it'll be a few weeks, and then when she waits December, January, February, March, April, okay, 5 months, she's so patient, so patient. I would never have been that patient, ever. So you tell me, okay, what changes that would cause you to send the following email. Lisa, let's read it again, shall we? On April 5th, you say to her, Lisa, sorry I missed your call. As for your furniture, I will have the TV stand done hopefully this coming week. However, I am not going to be able to build any of the other pieces for the cost I've given you. That's you saying I'm breaching. The work is very tedious. It's taking a lot of my time. I will complete the TV stand for the money you've already paid. So not only are you a jerk who gives her a price and then turns around and says, guess what? After 5 months of you patiently waiting, I ain't gonna do it. 5 months that you have no furniture in your living room. But no, Mr. Crescente of Wood Visions decides he's gonna one-up that. And he's gonna look you right in the eye and say, but guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna foist a coffee table with no matching pieces and tell you that you're gonna pay $2,787.50 for a coffee table. I'm gonna impose a new contract on you, girl, and you're gonna eat it. What would make you think in a million years that I would ever allow that would be fair or that would be appropriate after they waited 6 months for you? What? Go ahead, I'm listening.
Well, if she wanted her furniture and it was custom made, when you have a custom made job, some things happen in the midst of it. So we were just trying to renegotiate. You
know what happened in the midst of it? You put her on a back burner. You put her on a back burner because she was nice. That's what you did. Since she's nice, then she could just wait. And then you took the people like me who were yelling at you and saying, I'm going to take you to court. And those are the people you worked for. And then you have the nerve, not just to say, listen, I'm so sorry. I just can't do it, which is a breach. You have the nerve to say, and I'm keeping your money. And if you want a coffee table, you can have it for 50% of the contract. Have you lost your mind? No. $2,787.50. Verdict for the plaintiff.
Wow, the judge just let the defendant have it. Let's see what he thinks about that. Mr. Crescente, what are you thinking right now?
I'm not thinking too much. She just said what was on her mind. She was a little rough, but, whatever.
Whatever. She let you really have it, but for a good reason. I mean, you were not very good to the client. Lisa was extremely patient. Wouldn't you agree?
She was. Yes, she was.
Yeah, you don't have much to say. I guess if I were in your shoes, I wouldn't say much either. Anyway, you got to pay that money back. $2,787 goes to Lisa. Hey, Lisa, how do you feel? You're happy.
I'm happy. I'm happy that justice is served against unscrupulous contractors who think that they can win one over on people that have hired them to do a service.
What about the furniture now? Have you changed your plans altogether?
I'm going to have to hire someone else who is reliable and responsible and has more than a few reviews on Google to complete the furniture for me. But now that I have my money back, I can do that.
Thank you very much, and
Thank
congratulations. You are going to get your
Thank
money
you.
back. Yeah, good enough. You're welcome. Well, let's see what the judges have to say about this. Time for another session of After the Verdict.
Every time people enter into a contract, Marilyn, they're gambling. One guy's gambling, I'm going to be able to make some money, and the other guy's gambling, I'm going to get goods or services that matter to me. And you can't rewrite the contract unilaterally by yourself.
What nerve!
When things go south on you, when it takes longer than you think, right?
I mean, it's not even like the guy said, you know what, I'm so sorry, give me more time. And she said, I'm pulling the plug, I'm sick of you, I've been waiting 6 months. It said he had the nerve to say, I'm not going to abide by the contract. Right. I underbid this.
Right.
So you're going to eat it. And I'll tell you what, I'm keeping your deposit, and I'm going to finish the table any minute now. She never gets a picture. It doesn't matter. She wanted matching furniture. That's the deal.
Right.
And then he decides that 50% of the deposit is going to cover a coffee table.
Exactly. And then he decided to table her complaints and just kind of put that aside for a while because, as you said, she probably wasn't quite angry enough,
That's right.
quite nasty enough,
That's right.
etc.
That's right. And that's why I was angry and nasty enough for her.
Right, because her politeness hurt her in the end, in a sense, in that
Poor
regard.
thing. I hate that. I hate watching people take advantage of other people just because they can.
Right. And we see
Or
it
they
all the
think they
time,
can.
Unfortunately.
He just kept putting them off because they were nice.
Right.
That's what happened.
Well, sometimes being nice puts you on the back of the line, I guess.
Yeah, I tell you that all the time.
Sally from Florida wants to know this. If I sign a contract for some pool services, but change my mind, can I cancel the contract I just signed if it's the next day? So a lot of people think this, Sally, that you have a cooling off period if you sign a contract. Now, you do not. If you sign the contract, you are stuck, with one exception. A lot of states say that if it's a home solicitation contract, in other words, if somebody comes to your door, knocks, and then convinces you to buy something and sign a contract, you would have 3 days to change your mind and undo the deal. But if it's not home solicitation, generally you're stuck. That will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case are inside the courtroom.